A long time ago, there was a kind and beautiful woman named Mine. She was known by everyone for her gentle heart and strong faith in God. People in her village loved her very much, and her family cherished her deeply. One day, joyful news spread through Mine's family. She was getting married. Even though Mine was older than most brides, her family was thrilled. They knew she had finally found someone to share her life with. Her brother Maro was especially happy. At last, Mine will have her own family, he thought. A week later, Mine's family traveled from far and near to her village for the traditional marriage ceremony. The air was filled with music, laughter, and the smell of delicious food. Everyone danced and sang, celebrating Mine's special day. But not everyone was happy. Some of Mine's relatives were worried about her groom, Roland. They didn't know him well and felt something was off. Is he the right man for Mine? They wondered. But Mine's siblings told everyone that Roland was a good man. After the celebrations, Mine and Roland returned to the city. Everyone believed that Mine would live happily ever after. But little did they know trouble was coming her way. Roland, who had hidden his true nature, was not the kind and loving husband he pretended to be. He had dark plans and wanted to use Mine in a strange and wicked ritual. He believed that Mine's goodness and purity would give him great power, so he began to mistreat her. Roland would hurt Mine, refuse to give her food, and keep her locked away from the world. He wanted to break her spirit and weaken her faith. He even blocked her siblings from contacting her, ignoring their calls and messages. But Mine's faith remained strong. She prayed every day, trusting that God would help her. One day, while Roland was doing one of his strange rituals, Mine overheard him saying, "I promise to use my wife in this ritual. I will sacrifice her." Mine was terrified, but she kept quiet. She knew she needed to escape, but she had to wait for the right moment. Mine knew she had to act fast. Every day, she walked around the mansion, testing every door and window, looking for a way out. But she had to be careful. Whenever Roland returned home, she pretended everything was fine, acting as if she was still the same quiet and obedient wife. Meanwhile, Roland was making his final move to carry out his evil plan. He started telling neighbors, friends, and even Mine's family that they were planning to move abroad. He said they wanted to start a new life in a different country. But Mine's family grew suspicious. They could not understand why she would agree to leave the country without saying goodbye to them, especially since they all lived in the same city. Mine's brother, who had been worried for a long time, decided to visit her. When he arrived at the house, it seemed empty, just like the last time he had visited. But he wasn't ready to give up. He walked around the house, calling out her name. When he reached the backyard, he heard a noise coming from the kitchen. It was Mine. She had tried to rush to the door and answer him, but had tripped and fallen. At first, her brother couldn't tell where the noise was coming from. He listened carefully and then heard a faint voice calling his name. He went closer to the kitchen window and, to his shock, saw Mine lying on the floor, looking weak and frail. Without wasting time, he broke down the kitchen door and rushed to her side. He helped her up and saw the pain and fear in her eyes. Mine's brother knew something terrible had been happening. He immediately took her to the police station and reported everything he had seen. The police started their investigation right away. Afterward, he took Mine to the hospital, where she was treated for her injuries. The rest of the family was quickly informed. They were horrified to learn what Mine had been going through. They rushed to the hospital to be by her side, vowing never to let anything like this happen to her again. But Roland was still out there, unaware that his plans had started to unravel. The police were now on his trail, but Mine's family knew they had to be careful. They had to make sure that Roland couldn't hurt anyone else. And most importantly, they had to protect Mine from any more harm. As Mine lay in her hospital bed, her heart filled with a mixture of relief and fear. She was safe for now, but she knew that the battle wasn't over. She prayed that God would continue to watch over her and give her the strength to face whatever came next. Mine's heart raced as she returned to Roland's house, knowing she was walking into danger. The plan was risky, but it was the only way to catch Roland in the act. The police and her family had planned everything carefully, but Mine still felt fear gripping her. She knew she had to be brave. As soon as Roland saw her, his face twisted in anger. He grabbed her and demanded to know where she had been and how she had escaped from the house. Mine tried to remain calm, but her heart was pounding. Roland, now desperate and panicking, dragged her into his secret room. He intended to complete his wicked ritual quickly before anyone could interfere. Just as he covered Mine with a red cloth and lit the candles, the door burst open. The police and Mine's family rushed in, catching Roland red-handed. The room was filled with an eerie glow from the candles, and Mine's heart ached as she realized how close she had come to losing her life. The police demanded that Roland surrender. Seeing that he was surrounded, he finally gave up. They handcuffed him and led him to the living room, where he was forced to sit and face the consequences of his actions. With tears streaming down her face, Mine looked at Roland and asked, "Why did you want to kill me? What did I ever do to you?" Roland, now defeated, confessed the truth. He admitted that he was already married and had children, but he was a ritualist, someone who practiced dark rituals to maintain his wealth. He explained that he married unsuspecting women and used them as sacrifices to renew his rituals. After each sacrifice, he would return to his real family abroad until it was time for another. Mine was his third victim. Roland apologized to Mine and her family, but his words felt empty. The damage had been done, and his evil deeds could not be undone. The police took him away to face justice for his crimes, leaving Mine and her family to pick up the pieces. As Mine watched him being taken away, she felt a mix of sadness and relief. She had survived something terrible, and she knew that God had been watching over her. She was grateful to be alive and surrounded by her loving family. Who knows, life may smile on her again and bless her with another husband. In this story, it is very clear that evil can sometimes hide behind a kind face. But with faith, courage, and the support of loved ones, even the darkest secrets can be brought to light. Mine's story reminds us that we should always trust our instincts and never be afraid to seek help when something feels wrong. True love is patient, kind, and honest, and anything that demands secrecy or brings fear is not love at all. This is Umma's story time. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I am Amarachi Ihoma, the young storyteller.